Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade and
Shade
the
in the
City.
City.
I'm your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are getting into our review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Decision Day, the day that we sit and wait all season for. And we are here. It has arrived. So I do believe Nels made notes of these bets. So we are going to see how they came out.
Yes, I did.
But yes, so while she does that, let's hurry up and get into it, because again, we've been waiting all season for this. And let's get shady, y'all. All right, y'all. So we are kicking off Decision Day with Nate and Stasha. Pastor Cal asked Dr. Pepper if she's ready, and she said she thought she was, but it's been brought to her attention that Nate and Stasha have been struggling. So she believes maybe, they were a little too confident about the two of them. Now, Pastor Cal says his worry is how Nate responds to his stress. They hope they can work through everything. Nate shows up, flowers in hand, and Sasha says she feels unsure after what's transpired in the last 24 hours, y'all, and believes there are things she can't compromise on. So Dr. Pepper wants to address their issues. And Sasha says she's been wrestling, with whether she should stay, whether she should go. She sounded like a 702 record. I love it. And when Dr. Pepper wants to dig deeper, she lets her know, hold on, give me a minute. I have a list.
She sure did.
So she talks about his anger, rejection, communication, and comprehension. I said,
let's not forget the mommy issues.
oh, the mommy issues. I did forget that. Good call, Nils. She tells him that she feels his childhood trauma, as far as his upbringing with his mom, is starting to affect him. Now, she feels that he views her in a similar light as his mother because of what has happened to him. And basically, he doesn't give her enough credit. She's out here a whole 37-year-old established woman. Why wouldn't she be there for her kids? And, she actually gets a little bit emotional because I can understand what it would like. Why would you think that of me? Like, I mean, I understand you only know me for 8 weeks, but damn.
But it also, what did I do or say to give you the impression that I'm that way?
Great point. So then Nate apologizes for lashing out and tells her he's not proud of himself. He says he's emotionally overwhelmed and feels that that's why he's being triggered. He believes it's because he doesn't know how to deal with the stress. And Stasha understands it a lot, but says but she's not reacting to it the way he is, which is true. I do believe Nels pointed that out. Nate says Stasha needs work too. And when she says things, they can come off as insincere and condescending. And that's when feelings start to get hurt. So Pastor Cal tells them what they're dealing with is not uncommon in marriage. Nate says when he signed up for Married at First Sight, he wanted a wife that was feminine, nurturing. He says at times he feels insecure. Stasha says they've had a lot of good times. He's driven. And Nate says the last week and a half made their dynamic real. He says they both need work. And when making his decision, he thought about the pros and cons. So the pros definitely outweighed the cons. Stasha says she was going back and forth all night and she wasn't sure herself. She said she was looking at it rationally and the challenges they might have and if they can overcome them, and she really wasn't hopeful. However, today she decides she wants to stay committed to him.
The relief on this man's face.
Right. So she said she's not going to run, and she told him she was going to stand and sit beside him. Now, Pastor Cal sighs with relief, and was like, that was a very, very long ass yes. And then they toast to Stasia and Nate. And Sasha is excited to continue their journey as Mr. and Mrs. Barnes. Now, Nate says, the single Nate was a quitter. But the married Nate is not. And Stasha is like eating this shit out of the palm of his hand. But yeah, then we can go ahead now. Let's jump into Justin and Alexis for us.
Well, first,
let's talk about our
bet.
Yes.
So Treese said no to Stasha and yes to Nate. And I said yes to both. And she got that, boo. She got that.
Okay, so we're one and no. That's fine. That's fine.
So next up is Alexis and Justin. Of course, they do the recap, you know, showing, you know, that she ghosted him for 6 months. And now, you know, they're getting married.
Right.
Of course, they show their rough times as well and his sensitivity and, you know, the whole Maya thing. So they go through the whole recap. Justin comes in and sits down with a rose. I just felt like it just got from good to bad to worse as far as these flowers go. I mean, Nate kind of came in with freshly picked flowers. Justin came in with a single damn. Huh?
Did Mitch even have flowers?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So Justin came in with a single rose. And Alexis came walking in, even Pascal couldn't help himself. He said, "Whoa, let me tell you something. The curves, the I said, Pascal,
he's your queen
to be, right? Yeah. Let me tell you something. She did look hella good. But Pascal shocked the shit out of me. Okay, like he couldn't hope. Like, brother,
I hope his wife don't watch that episode.
Like, brother, this is. You are blessed. You are a blessed man. Okay. So Justin says that he's feeling good because he had an epiphany. You know, that he lives in his head, and Alexis helped him get to this epiphany, and feels that he would have never had it had they not been together. Alexis tells him that she appreciates him being vulnerable and all his growth, and you know, and loving and cherishing her. I was like, damn, this is. She's like, it was given thanks, but no thanks. Nigga.
Yeah.
Right. Pascal wants to talk about. Right. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Bye. Pascal wants to talk about
services are no longer needed.
Right. hit him with the Shawnee O'Neal.
Right. Hit him with the Shawnee.
So Pascal wants to talk about intimacy and how it's been. Justin was like, yo, I can't even lie. It has been fun. It has been fun. Alexis says that she's proud of him for initiating.
But they need some work. And Pascal's like, what do you mean?
Look, he looked like you ain't just want to talk about my sex. Look, Pascal, like,
and please don't ask her to elaborate no more because we know that she will.
Okay. After seeing them curves, Pascal want her to elaborate. Like, what you need, lady? What you need? Let's see what we can get done. Dr. Pepper, who was the one that was like, oh, you know, that's not uncommon.
Yeah.
You know, what was it? And then she wants to know what was the turning point in their relationship. So she says, you know, that the whole Maya thing, of course. And it, you know, she was like that it matters for sure, but because, you know, she has Newton, she can understand being a fur mom. But the problem was him throwing it in her face.
Mm-hmm.
Basically telling her that she should stay because he gave up his dog.
Right.
He admits that he did throw it in her face, but he says that he was under the impression that once he gave away Maya, basically the decision was made that they were going to stick it out through this marriage and make it work.
Basically, if I give away my dog, you have given me your soul. That's what Justin wanted.
Basically. And she said she don't agree with that.
Right. She was like, I beg to differ.
Period.
She's like, I never said that. Never said that.
So Justin tells her that he knows that it's been an emotional roller coaster and he's made her feel isolated and alone at times. And there's times that, you know, she resents him because of his actions, but feels that she compliments him in a lot of ways. And he's still discovering himself, and there'll be a lot of benefit to them as a whole and him as a whole if she answers yes. And he does want to stay married. So his answer is yes. So Alexis, what's up with these letters? Because she pulled out a whole letter.
I know,
okay?
right?
We got these lists and we got these letters, okay? Now she's stating at one point she felt she's seen enough hurt, enough isolation, enough chaos, and struggles to see the positive. And she's still unsure about what the right decision is. And, she says that after some thought and some prayer, the answer was simple. Confront her fears head on and trust and confide in him even when she's afraid to. And she chose him even when she's afraid to. And her decision was yes. So at this point, I'm going to say at this point, both me and Treese were wrong.
Right.
Both me and Treese said Alexis was going to say no, and Justin was going to say yes. At this point.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
So I must say that it was very cute. Alexis and Justin toasted with their bottle of wine to their, future. And yeah, I guess we're
They're clearly not drinkers. Didn't they hold that for a minute? They had got that at the winery. I'd have been like, man, let's crack this shit open.
Well, it was a special bottle. It was special.
Wow, we would have cracked that shit open while we watching a special movie.
You funny.
Go crack that shit open.
You're funny. So, Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper, they are both admit that they were really rooting for Miguel and Lindy. She expresses she's not sure which side of Miguel is going to show up. When they sit down with Dr. Pepper, she brings up some of their recent issues they've had. And, it must have been tough seeing as how they started off as lovebirds.
I'm going to need a long pour for this one.
You're funny. So Miguel says he feels that they were getting back on track and had another argument and began fighting again. Lindy says the hardest part of her and Miguel are having these miscommunications is that he would question the match. She says she asked him early on to not do that, and to bring her through that is painful. So she believes that he can be controlling at times and says that she feels he has demons that he needs to deal with from his past trauma. Miguel says that he is done and he feels he has given everything that he could. Okay. Now, Lindy shares or brings up how she battles with what is normal give and take. She doesn't know when and if she can say things and how Miguel will react depending on his mood. Dr. Pepper brings up Lindy's explosive outburst and where he stands on it. And he says that he needs to make space for her and not get defensive or sensitive. He says when she does get emotional, it does affect him. Lindy says that's part of her existing. She questions whether that means changing who she is. So she says they're both reactive, and she talks about the couples retreat and him rejecting her.
I just want to know, would it be okay if he said, me being controlling is a part of me existing? And does that mean changing who I am? Can all controlling men say that's a part of who I am? That's a part of me existing? And if you want me to change that, that's changing me?
No, I don't think anybody can get away with that unless your name is Lindy and you're on Married at First Sight. But
where the experts don't got shit to say to you.
So she tells
actually call you explosive, and it's okay.
Right. Dr. Pepper did let that slide. So she tells him he taught her how to care for him and told her what to do, and it still wasn't good enough. Now, Lindy tells Miguel she has nothing but love and respect for him. She's proud of him and the work he's done. She's totally enamored with him. She does say that when she needs him the most and in times of conflict, and he pulls away, that's painful and confusing. She said, but being able to see him be depleted and vulnerable makes her love and understand him just that much more. She feels like the connection is
no.
Says, yes, Miguel.
This is too much bullshit. First of all, to say that you have nothing but love and respect for this man is beyond a fucking stretch. because the fact that you constantly say you can't speak your mind, or you're feeling like you're disrespecting him, or the things that you want to say are disrespectful to him, but you have nothing but love and respect for him. Bitch, if you have nothing but love and respect for him, you should be able to say what the fuck you want to say without getting explosive, without flying off the fucking handle.
Yeah. But she can't refrain from being who she is. You're restricting her. You're
Go
keeping
sit
her
on
in
somebody's couch
the
rather
box.
than on Married at First Sight. You're not ready to love, bitch. You're ready for a therapist.
Oh
You actually
God.
speak up.
So Miguel says,
Go sit down with nephew Tommy.
wow.
He'll tell you how it is, because Dr.
No,
Pepper
she needs to sit
clearly
down with
won't.
Dr. Francis. So Miguel says that he's written something and talks about how he feels, and he knows so much about her. Not just her favorite color, which is teal, her favorite food, which is a sushi burrito.
I
And
was so disappointed.
what happened?
I was so disappointed.
Chanel was disappointed, y'all. So basically, he then goes into how, he's inspired and obsessed with her, and says a few pages into their joint story, and he doesn't want to put this book down. I thought it was so sweet. He admits going into this, he didn't know if it would be catastrophic or a masterpiece, but she made it easy to be stalwart from the start because her love is palpable, piercing him fiercely through the heart. I said, well, damn.
That's her fucked up ass words. That's what's piercing you, sir.
So basically Miguel is a yes. And feels like, and they even joke about it after. And, she was like, oh, he was like, I would have been a fool if I would have said no. And she's like, yes, she would have. Now, Dr. Pepper. Oh, and yeah, they say yes, they toast. And I don't even think Miguel brought a whole poem. So I thought that was enough for him to bring.
I was shocked that she sat down and actually listened without looking at the bunnies and people taking pictures and shit.
That's not nice. Now, I think we said a hard no for Miguel.
For Miguel.
And a yes, or I think I said they were going to stay together. I think
you said yes to both. You said yes to Miguel and Lindy. I said no to Miguel and yes to Lindy. So you were right with this one. So we're 1-1.
1-1.
And I am super disappointed in Miguel because you know what? I don't remember who the hell was in the comments, but you are 100% right. He must be a Cancer because he's definitely not an Earth sign. Because had he been an actual Capricorn like I thought he was, he would have told the bitch to kick rocks. But he did not.
Or, like he said, he feels like he worked through his trauma, but maybe he is one of those people that trauma bonds, if you know what I mean. So who knows?
They are not bonding, though.
So Dr. Pepper says she has some tension about Kristen and Mitch. Pastor Cal says, husband 101, you never tell your wife I'm not attracted to you. Dr. Pepper talks about how it's hard for some people to get out of their single mindset and feeling like they need to be brutally honest about everything. And Pastor Cal feels like they still have potential, however. So Mitch comes out and he says that, this is hard for him going into the decision day, as he felt he had to not only make the best decision for him, but for Kristen as well. Kristen arrives, and as Dr. Pepper compliments her dress, Mitch can already guess what color it is, and he's actually right, and they give him kudos for knowing his wife. So Dr. Pepper wants to get right into it. Mitch says that he knows he messed up the tone of their marriage going into it when he hurt Kristen. He didn't realize how much at the time, but he learned pretty quickly he was more closed off to love than he thought, and it's been influencing his decisions more than he's acknowledged. So he said he also learned that the more he shares and opens up to his partner, the better he is, because vulnerabilities are no longer just his weakness and he can be free. He also feels people like him better when he's just him. So Pastor Cal compliments him on his progress, and Kristen agrees, and she's just sitting there smiling. Can I tell y'all, Kristen was going to say whatever Mitch said.
No, can I tell y'all? I think she was just smiling because a bug flew in her mouth, and I think it really wasn't down her throat like she said. I think, let me tell you something, I would have lost it on camera. I wouldn't have gave a damn. I'd have been like, get this shit out. I would have lost my shit. Mitch is like,
I didn't catch that part about the bug in her mouth.
Yeah, Mitch was like, oh, it's just protein of the future. And she was just sitting there the whole time like, I think because the motherfucker was still, first of all, how the fuck bug you, how the hell you know what type of bug it was? Bitch, you could just stung you in your mouth, shit it on your tongue. You don't know what the fuck it was? The
That was
fuck? Why you just
aggressive.
holding that shit? I give a fuck camera or not. Puh. Kiss my ass. Protein of the
Well,
future in my ass. Yeah, no.
we all
Uh-uh.
know how Nels feels about that now.
Mm-mm. Now, Kristen tells him there's a ton that she loves and appreciates about him. His love for the environment. Um, you know, we all do. We love your love for the environment because we ain't got it to share with you. And it comes from a selfless place. His ability to change and see progress. He can also be stubborn, but he can also recognize when he needs to change, and you know, he does that easy with no problem. I think that's actually a really good quality to have. Because you know, you tell a motherfucker one thing, look, this is not working, I need this, and okay, you might see a change for a good 2-3 days and they back to their same old self. So Mitch says he thinks they're a lot alike because they have a lot of similar qualities, and feels she's very loyal and honest, and feels that there's parts of her that he didn't see right away. And he knows it's his fault. But he commends her for being patient because he knows he is not an easy person to get along with. Mitch tells Kristen his decision wasn't easy and he wasn't sure until last night. He tells her at this point, you know, the past 8 weeks have been unforgettable. And he's grateful and thankful that they were matched together. She's helped him grow and they had a lot of things going. And he wants, you know, to continue to do that justice. He feels that she deserves better.
And
Okay.
she does.
And, you know, she deserves everything that she said that she deserves. And
And she
she
does.
and says that she deserves somebody to be, as she said, 100% over, like, what is it? Head over heels in love with her, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not there yet. He's not at that level of commitment, of what she deserves. So for him, his decision is a no, which I felt was super confusing because how the hell are you gonna say you want to see what it's like to be married in the real world with me, and now you telling me I deserve more than what you can give?
No, 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 no. I definitely, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the first time I really respected Mitch. It
No,
was
I
very,
always respect him for being
no,
honest.
but this was very clear, and it was the way he delivered it. The way he delivered it. Because my thing is, he said to her, what he was saying was, I you've opened my eyes to what I can do and open me up to love, but it's still not you. It'll never be you. That's basically what he was saying to
Then
her.
why say I want to see what it would be like married to you in the real world?
Uh,
That's the only confusing part. That's when I saw a glimpse of hope, and then it went downhill from there. Do you see what I'm saying?
I never. You already know how I felt about this, so.
I always commend him for being honest, but to me, that was confusing, right? It's like you have all these great attributes, and I would love to see what it would be like married to you in the real world, but I can't give you what you deserve, and you deserve better than me. So my answer is no. That was the confusing part for me. So Kristen, of course, she's super emotional. You know, she appreciates his wording. And said that she would give anything for his commitment to be more, and she doesn't want more, and she's ready for this, and she doesn't deserve to be with someone who's not, and she's choosing herself. So Pastor Cal asks, you know, so what's this? Why y'all holding your hands so tight then? And Kristen says, you know, that she really does still care about him and they're still on good terms. Um, and she doesn't want to cut ties and never like speak to him again. And she wants to comfort him because it's a hard moment. And they're just not right for each other as husband and wife. So she still sees like a friendship with the two of them.
Pastor Cal
If she
questions
thinks,
whether they're
girl,
not
this
good
shit says
together at all.
Carla.
or
Is she?
just not good together right now. And Mitch looks blank while Kristen still looks hopeful. Y'all, if y'all do not watch Little Black Book, desperation.
She says there
Sound.
could be a future potential, but it's not fair for her to just wait around and hope for him to come around. And the right thing to do is get divorced. Mitch says that he does still love Kristen very much. And, they want to be in each other's lives. He wants to be in her life, you know, so he says. But marriage
Says
just
he
isn't
wants
in
to
the
be
cards.
in their lives, but doesn't think marriage is in the cards for him. That's why I said he made it very clear that's not what he saw. He said every time he sees a pug, he'll think of her. And every time she sees a piece of plastic on the ground, she'll think of him. But my notes say Kristen is delusional and believe this may not be the end for her and Mitch, but it is the end for them being married at first sight.
So let me tell y'all, after all of that, all these, first of all, okay, let's give it Kristen and Mitch.
Kristen and Mitch, where we at?
Kristen and Mitch, Treese, we're gonna give Treese half a point because she said Kristen was a no and Mitch was a yes. So being that they both said no, she gets a half a point.
Okay.
A point for Kristen. I said yes to both. So I'm out with that one. Now let me tell y'all, okay, after all this shit went down, all these fucked up decisions that was made, all these people that stayed together that shouldn't, okay, motherfucking Justin gonna pull Alexis to the side. Want to have a little
They
sidebar.
ain't even got out the winery good yet.
No, they did not. Talking about some. You happy with your decision? Do you regret it?
Before he already back in his head.
You make me feel like I should feel lucky that you chose me. Alexis is like, he's like, are you sure? You sure you want this? Well, nigga, I told you I wasn't sure. Did you not hear me when I was talking? I told you I wasn't 100%.
Yes, to more time, but I need time to process. Leave me the hell alone.
I think what it was what she said to him was she wants them to continue to be married, but she needs time. So she doesn't want it to be like, jump back into like being full on married or like maybe move in together. Or I really don't know what the hell she meant by that. But
no, she was, and this is where I'm gonna have to call a spade a spade. I don't know if it was, I think he might have been irritating her. I think that she was unsure. When he said yes, I think maybe she felt a duty or an obligation to say yes.
And not embarrassing.
And even though she's not gonna admit that, and then I think once it hit her, and especially if you don't like somebody already, or you're not, as we talked about, if you're not attracted to them, then when they do stuff to get under your skin, it makes you less and less likely to be able to tolerate it.
So let me ask you this, because I know I don't find Justin attractive, but where is this narrative coming from that she doesn't find him attractive? The only reason why I think that she actually might find him attractive is because she actually matched with him on that dating app or whatever prior to the show.
And she swiped.
She swiped to match with him. That means that she was attracted to him.
No, she swiped, like she kept going. That's what she said. She swiped left twice on this nigga and she ended up marrying him. She was like, I wasn't interested. I swiped left. She didn't want him. But she was like, and look, he ended up being such a good guy. That's why she was like, maybe I need to be open-minded. Maybe I need to give.
So, okay, no, I thought, so she said she ghosted him. So what I thought was she swiped, they matched, but it never came of anything. Like she ghosted him. If you swipe left.
She said that if they had went on a date or met and they had actually dated outside of this process, she would have ghosted him. But she said she swiped left twice on this nigga and ended up being married to him. So that's
she didn't actually ghost him. She said she would have ghosted him.
Not attracted to him.
Oh, I thought you said she ghosted him. So she said she would have ghosted him,
Right,
not that she actually did.
right.
Oh, so
And
she never.
she was never, that's what I'm saying. If you swipe past, that means even surface, he couldn't get you before you even knew him. You weren't even willing to give him a chance on your own. It took you going into this process for you to actually, because you had to be married to him. And it forced you to get to know him, and he actually could have been a good person. But again, if you're not attracted to somebody and on that type of level, and then they gets under your skin as well, it makes it that much harder to want to stay. So I say that to say, I mean, I think that she realized what position she was in and was like, oh, I'm really married to this nigga, and this is not what I wanted. And it really hit her. Like, I had a chance to get out and I didn't take it. And it's really starting to hit her.
Let me tell you something. I could have been Alexis in that moment because, first of all, she's like, I did not think this is the way my decision day would go. Like, thought it was going to be cool, whatever. And you up here questioning me. Let me tell you something. When he was like, oh, you're acting uh, like you were, like, I'm lucky to, like, that you chose me. I'd have been like,
Like
you know
that,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, bitch, you are. It would have been done
Done
then,
data.
right there, right there.
Basically, yeah, I think he asked her if she regrets making the decision, and she says no, basically, or she says she doesn't regret saying yes, but I feel like my notes say so he'll leave her alone.
Uh-huh.
She's
Yeah,
irritated.
because initially she was being around it, but she was like, I wouldn't have said yes if I regretted it. Like, he's like, and he kept on pushing it. He's like, no, I mean right now in this moment. Like, now that we're arguing, do you regret it? She's like, you want to hear no? No, I don't regret it.
Hmm. So after decision day, everybody decides to get together to see where all the other couples or singles are at and how their decisions went. Even Ben shows up. He said he hasn't seen the couples in a while and he's interested to see how everyone's journey is going. He's grateful for the opportunity to see everyone. And Lindy compliments Ben and says he looks good. And he's like talking about he got a tan and has been doing some hot yoga. Then Morgan arrives thinking that she's serving something. That's what my notes say. She really thought she was like, I don't know, like, yeah. Ben says he saw Morgan at the gym. And they both had their headphones in. She threw up the peace sign. So he feels like there's no bad blood between them. Now, Lindy is showering her with her compliments on how good she looks. Lindy is just being nice. Stasia says, and I'm not saying Morgan's a bad looking girl, but let's not gaslight her. Let's not for jeans and a t-shirt. She didn't come in there wearing no freakum dress. Stop it. Stop it. So Stasha says in confessional, both Morgan and Ben are doing well individually. However, she felt Morgan could have given Ben more grace and tried to work through their marriage. Look,
That
somebody
part.
making decision day. Now they got all the advice. Let's hope you together at the reunion. So they go through all their decisions. Stasia tells them she said no, but everyone knows it was bullshit. She tells them she said yes, but she was on the fence. Miguel asked for her determining factor, and she says she felt 8 weeks wasn't enough time and she wanted to stay committed. Nate says it was pretty much the same answer for him. Lindy and Miguel talk about how their decision day felt like a second wedding day, and of course they said yes. And Alexis points out Kristen not wearing her ring anymore. Gotta love good old icebreaker Alexis. That's what y'all need to call her, icebreaker Alexis. Kristen says she does have some things she want to share. She said that leading up to her decision day, she had a difficult time because she does believe they have something there. Kristen says, but at the end, she knows she gave everything that she had.
Giving
I was like, giving you the best that I got, baby. uh, Mitch said he feels that they came to the same conclusion on their own. He feels they wanted different lifestyles. Kristen says they sacrificed themselves to the point that they both weren't happy. Now, Justin questions whether they're still going to be friends, and Kristen repeat, she's gonna leave the door open. She's gonna leave the door open.
ajar.
Ajar. I'm sorry, she's gonna leave it ajar.
Ajar.
Now, When I tell y'all everybody's faces, Lindy was like, "Oh, y'all sound stupid." Who's She said, "But you better deadbolt that hoe. What are you talking about?"
She said that after Alexis said what she said.
Right. So then Alexis, well, no, Lindy tells her she deserves more than a door crack. So then Alexis asks Mitch if Kristen will be on the other side waiting, and Mitch is never coming. So Mitch says he doesn't know, but knows the decision they made was the right one for now. He actually was trying to he was trying to be cool, whatever, but they kept digging. So he said he was resolute in his decision and hopes that they can be friends. He says he wants the door to be open in that way. Y'all, when I tell y'all Kristen's whole
it was that finalization that it was
he has no interest.
I think the way he started off was great, and if he would have left it at that, it'd have been cool.
Alexis tells Kristen, leave it ajar for friendship, but not for marriage. He said, I never put that on the table. And it didn't come, what he said, and it didn't come from his end. Kristen is
he said wait. He said I never put that on the table.
Yeah, he said, I never put that on the table. That didn't come from me.
The leave the door open?
Mm-hmm. He's an asshole. Just admit it. He's honest, but it's an asshole thing.
All I had was that he said, that didn't come from me. But what I thought what he was saying was what Alexis said. Like, that didn't come from me. I'm not the one that said that.
No.
He's saying I'm not the one that said I'm gonna leave the door open. Like, I ain't put that on the table. Kristen did. That's why she said, wow.
Yeah, because they all made, that's why I kept telling you, that's why I told you from the beginning. I was like, Kristen was delusional. He made it clear from the time he sat down on that couch and she heard what she wanted to hear, like we saw the whole season. She'll change it in her mind to make it sound better so she can get through it. And so in her mind, I guess the best way to handle the breakup or the divorce was to convince herself that there may be a chance. And Mitch was like, I never said that. I let her know this was not going to be it. I can't give you what you need.
You know
and
what?
It's not, and the only thing I can't be mad at, Mitch has, what they say, a month of Sundays. Mitch has told Kristen over and over and over that he does not want to be what he has tried, but he does not want to be with her. And this was just finalization, and she was going to try to make it. And he was like, no, boo, I'm trying to cut you off nicely, but you still, he's like, we can be friends, but friends from afar. And like he said, I've learned, thank you. I've learned to love. I've learned that I like this, and it'll be great with somebody that I actually love and I like.
Kristen said, ring the alarm. I've been through this. I'll be damned if I see another picture of y'all. She said, you ain't about to take the tools and shit that I gave you, nigga.
Right, and take it to the next. That's exactly what he said. Basically, is what he's telling her.
Yes.
So Lindy tells her she needs to deadbolt that shit, like I said. And she says in confessional, she just can't with Mitch. She says she feels the moment provided clarity for her and Mitch. And yeah, the Mitch and Kristen show is over. She said, and their future does not include each other.
I noticed they moved apart. They was not sitting so close anymore.
Right.
So Justin and Alexis, everybody want to know what the hell happened with them, because they probably thought the same thing I thought. The bitch was going to say no, and he was going to say yes. So, he says that, she said she had no idea what her decision was going to be. And, until 24 hours prior, really? Well, no, I think even 24 hours prior, she still said she didn't know.
Right.
But she said that she did say yes. And 20 minutes later, her husband got into an argument.
Sasha's like, I'm so sorry.
Basically. And he says that, he asked several times since then if she regrets saying yes. And, she said that she's still processing. I get it, bitch. I get it. I don't know why you try to spare this nigga's feelings, period. In the confessional, he states that he thought they were supposed to be going up from here, but it seems like after every argument they get into, it's the argument of the century or a catastrophe. It's like dudes don't understand that you could be on a high, but especially depending on what the argument is about,
right?
It's like chipping away at a statue, right? You get into an argument, you're chipping away. Eventually, there's going to be nothing left, or it's not going to be as beautiful as it was. Your relationship is not going to be as beautiful as it was. You keep on chipping away at it.
Go ahead, girl. Go, Chanel, with a word.
Period. Period. So Miguel tells them that, this recurring shit, like it takes, it's like saying, do you choose me?
Right.
And if you do, then cut the bullshit, stop the whining and the accusations. And I feel like that was directed straight at Justin, not at Alexis. Okay. And the accusations. And how do we get from this point of being like the happy point to like the lumps and bumps and the shit that we going through? Like,
right.
And Lindy says that it's objective measures and like emotional measures. And Alexis, of course, she stole this moment to say basically, she's a logical thinker. And that's the difference between her and Justin, because he's emotional. Basically letting them know that it's not me, it's him. He's the emotional one and I'm logical.
He says it's only been 8 weeks and a day, you guys. And that, if Alexis' feelings get hurt in the moment, the world is ending.
Basically saying she's not as logical as she thinks is what I got. He was like, yeah, she's logical.
I don't know.
But it's only been 8 weeks, and if she gets hurt, the world is ending.
She's very mature, like we said, because there's a lot of
she is mature, but of course she has emotions, and like we've seen, she's shown them, and she has worked off emotions. So, production asks, where do we go from here? And he says, hopefully, they'll be able to figure things out. He'd rather them figure things out. And she said, she don't want to figure shit out.
I'm good. I'm done.
She said, I'm done.
I'm done.
And she told him all she did was love him the best of her ability, genuinely. And this is goodbye. So everybody is basically packing up their apartments. Kristen addresses Mitch. And, she says that she felt like she was being nice and genuine with the whole door ajar thing. I felt like she was caught off guard. He says that he felt like he was under attack, of course, and wants to clear the air. He didn't show up to say no and say, let's keep dating, after we get divorced. And he didn't want to string her along, basically. And said that
he didn't want to be seen as a half-ass guy.
Half-ass dude. And she was like, I don't think anybody saw you as a half-ass dude. Kristen let him know that she doesn't think anybody basically saw him that way. But, decision day was very positive and went so well that it seems silly to completely close the door for the future if their paths crossed again. However, she felt that was his time to clear the air and, get some shit straight. And he said, maybe in a different situation it could work, but last night was all twisted. And says there's only so much he can take with everyone blaming him for everything, and all the conversations about the door open in the future is not important to him right now. And Kristen said, judging from that, she feels it's best they just close that goddamn door. Shut that bitch. Like Lindy said, deadbolt that.
Bolt that, right.
And Kristen says now that they're getting divorced, she sees clearer. And he was worse to her than maybe she thought like he was, than maybe she was able to see at the time.
You can see clearly now that Mitch is gone.
They both agree that they have no regrets. He says that he would love to stay in touch with her and check in once in a while. She was like, well, since you want to do that, next month I'm going camping and I need somebody to watch Luna. And he was like, you know what? That's cool. I'll watch her for you.
You know what this gives me?
What?
I'm still trying to leave the door propped open, a little bit ajar. So she just needs to let it go. Hire a dog sitter. Like, cut ties. I'm sorry. This to me is even her way of, well, if I can call you to babysit Luna, then that way I can get over your house and I can just stop, Kristen. Just
I
stop.
don't know. She's kind of giving a little bit like she just wants some on-call dick.
Desperation
Is what it's giving. Is what it's giving me.
Desperation has a sound.
It's giving that she wants some dick that, it ain't got to be no new dick and ain't got to add no extra bodies. Like, I've been there.
She might not want to up her body count
until next nigga come along. That's what it's giving me a little bit.
Oh, okay, I understand that.
Now she says one of the best things she did was marry a stranger, and the only thing greater is divorcing that stranger. So it is done data for them too. Justin, is at the apartment packing up, looking at old pictures and shit.
Looking at the wedding album.
Huh?
He was looking at the wedding album.
Yes, he was. Looked like he all teary-eyed and shit with his emotional ass.
He was like, this was a good day. I think it was 8 weeks ago. I'm not trying to laugh at it.
Like, it
was 8 weeks ago.
Stop it. He says he feels embarrassed that right after Alexis made her decision, 12 hours later, she's outie 2000. Now she did apologize that she hurt him the way she did and disrespected him in that tone, and says that, she really shouldn't have blindsided him. I was like, oh my God, Alexis, you guys give another chance. Oh my God. And she said she did come into this looking for love. She didn't expect to, get a lesson, but she did. And she realized she needs some work as well. And she said, she was embarrassed this morning that she said what she said to him. So they said that, they said their I love you. They hugged it out and said their goodbyes. So it is still a no-go for Alexis and Justin, which technically makes me and Trish right. Because we both said no and a yes. Because Justin was still hanging on by that little hope of thread. And Alexis was like, no, nigga. You ain't getting nada
from
this.
Right.
Okay.
Not even $1
from this.
Right.
Lindsay and Miguel are supposed to be packing up, but instead, they scratching off scratch-offs. I was like, ain't this some shit? And look, Miguel can't let it go. He's like, I ain't win shit yet. Like you got any more? You got she gonna turn this man into a fiend. Okay, he gonna be spending all his little doctor checks on these goddamn scratch-offs trying to be a millionaire. That's all right. Lindy, like, look, you ain't win. Let it go. Okay. Lindy and Miguel are both excited for her to put her touch on his place. I thought that was cute. Because other way around, Stasha was not. Production asked what he's taking away from this experience. He said, I'm taking away a wife.
That was cute.
I'm taking away a marriage. And he is eager to see where their story goes. I said, okay. Not too far. Maybe a week. 2.
Straight to hell.
In a handbasket.
No, straight to the dungeon with the dragon. That's where it's going. Thank you guys for tuning in to another review. Decision Day, Married at First Sight, season 15. This is our second season, y'all. So we are super, super excited. Thank you guys for following along with us. We appreciate your patience. And if you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
And please make sure that you are following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, IG, Facebook, and make sure that you join us next week for the reunion, because we can't wait to see how many people are actually still together.
How long is the reunion after decision day? Do you know?
I think it's coming next week.
But I mean, like you know how they have decision day and then maybe wait a certain amount of time to have the reunion. Do you know how much time is in between?
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
But I think max is 3 months, maybe, possibly.
Oh, so there may be some different. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. I believe somebody hinted that they did not see.
Do we want to take bets for that?
Yes.
Or do we still have the same?
Well, a little birdie told me, do we believe Stasha and Nate are still together?
Ain't nobody tell you. You picked up some hints, bitch.
Do we still think Nate and Stasha are together? Yes or no?
Oh, do I still
Yes,
think
I want your answer.
I think they're processing.
They're processing. You're such a dick. Okay. And my answer is yes, I think that they are still together. That's just
I don't think Lindy and Miguel are still together.
I don't think so either. And we know
so,
two of our
so
other
look, we taking some new bets.
Mitch were able to work it out and come back together.
I don't think so.
Okay. And do we think
I don't think the dick was that good.
Do we think Alexis and Justin made up?
No.
No. All right, y'all.
They might be cool. They might have, you know, she might have not want an extra body, but do I think that she was like, yeah, let's not sign these divorce papers? No.
Well, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in, for all your love and support. We appreciate you, and we will catch y'all for the reunion. Have a great evening and have an even better Halloween. Stay safe. Love you guys.